Here we go. All right. We're going to get rolling. Dennis, we ended with you last week, but we're going to start with you this week on FSBOs. What are you doing to get FSBOs? And talk everybody through. Give us some nuggets. Let's start it off. Come out of nowhere. The X-Man is in the house. Let's go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hope everybody had a great week. So I haven't done FSBOs. I was never a big FSBO guy, but I did some expireds ways back, probably about 8 years ago. And I'm going to start that again, okay? Because they're coming. Expireds are coming. So I do a series of postcards, and I'll show them to you guys. So this is where it starts. Just had them all rebranded with the EXP because they haven't been in action for a while. But you can see the headline. Matt Battiat is big on headlines. So am I. Right? You got to catch them. You can't just send some kind of fluffy crap. So this is kind of what I send here. On the back, it says guaranteed sold. This is another one we have here. Okay. And Pete, look at this. This is your old condo you had. See that? PB
Oh, yeah.
Drive. PB
Love
Drive,
it. PB
right?
Drive. 1130 PB Drive. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So that ended up being a foreclosure, right? You knew that. So I ended up selling that. So basically, I'm showing people, look, all these agents couldn't sell these homes. I sold them in 6 days, 3 days, 4 days, if you could see that. All right. So it's got to be really, really catchy. Talks about me on the back there. We have a free marketing kit. Here's another one. Free marketing kit to get your home sold. On the back, we get the EXP logo sign with sold. So they all have really good headlines, as Matt Battiat is into, and so am I, right? So if you don't have a good headline, nobody's really going to pay attention to your stuff. So I'd love to share these with everybody. I'm not sure how we do that, Pete. If we have some kind of Google Drive, or if anybody wants to email me, I'll pop my email into chat. I'd be happy to send these to you. You guys are pretty much we all work together. So we're all here to help each other. And then you just have to rebrand it with your stuff and go for it. Okay.
Send it to Dre, Dennis, and she'll
Okay.
scan them, or she'll take it. She'll get it out to everyone.
Okay,
So.
Perfect. So that's what I do. It's kind of labor intensive. My assistant does it. He would get, when we did it about 7-8 years ago, he would get all the expireds every day through Mojo, one of those expired programs. He would take them in every day, put them into top producer. And it was work, because it was a series of about 8 postcards, and he would send them all 8 to each person. So, each day, day 2, he'd be sending out, 30, 40 postcards. Day 4, it just kept adding up. But we did get listings. We get listings every week from this campaign. So.
Hey, Dennis.
It's a good campaign.
I mean, nothing better than getting our hands on it like instantly for everybody that's attending, and it's like a reward. So as others are talking, maybe you can use, I'm sure you have them on your computer, put them in a Dropbox link or a Google Drive and send us the link to it. So everybody can just download it themselves if they want it.
Perfect. Yeah, let me work on that.
You can paste the link right in the chat, and
I'll work on that.
Google
Come on,
that,
Dennis.
Dennis.
You
Google
got
that.
we believe in you, Dennis. Come
Come
on.
on, Dennis, you can do it.
It's great stuff.
Like Randy's
I'll
getting
do it.
excited because at the end of September in San Diego is all the Polish festivals. This is listen, this is he's in with
This
that.
is my
all right,
prime
he's getting
season. But Dennis, if you want,
FSBOs and eating
email it to me.
sausages.
Email it to me and I'll put it. I'll do it.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
I'll send it to you right now, Randy.
All right. Cool.
No, that's some good tips, Dennis. Those are some good nuggets, but you have to have a system and you have to do it consistently, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you have to be consistent. It's, this is kind of the easy way out where I don't necessarily like making outbound calls the Mike Ferry way. I've never been that kind of guy. I've been more of a Craig Proctor kind of guy, where you get catchy headlines and you send it out, spend some money, and people call you. I much prefer that than making a call myself, but that's me. Other people like Carlos Gutierrez in our group, he's a machine, and he sells, $2 million worth of real estate, 2 million GCI a year, just from doing cold calls, right? So that's not me. That's all. So everybody has a different way of doing it. The whole point is you just have to do it, right? You have to be in action and don't sit there and think about it and talk about it. Just do it.
Yeah, there's no one exact way of doing it, you guys, and don't allow yourselves to get overwhelmed. But you can always reach out to Dennis if you want to kind of understand his FSBO or expired system. They are very similar in a lot of ways. But Dennis, we got to get that picture changed. That was from circa 1998. Change up, get a current picture. There it is. Look at
that's when you and I were business partners, Pete. That was one of those pictures way back when.
That's right, exactly. So we got to get that current. All right, I'm going to go from Dennis out to Brian. And Brian, give me some tips that people can utilize this week with FSBOs? And what, you're always great with scripts and intros and just getting into conversations with people. How would you open up that initial phone call?
Awesome. That's a great question. Thank you, Pete. Well, it's never convenient to call on FSBOs when they're not in your farm, right? And most of the time they're not in your farm. I mean, if you're really going to go after FSBOs, then I like homework. I like to be prepared. And there's just very few things that you have to do to be overly prepared. So your confidence level is at a 10 when you go see them or talk to them. And what those few things are, I wrote some notes down here because last time I shared, I didn't really get a chance to touch on these. But the first thing I want to recommend is that before you call a FSBO or go knock on their door, that you look in the MLS and do a quick due diligence on just what's going on in their neighborhood, just real fast, 30 seconds, just do a quick overall. But then see if there's any active real estate listings within a half a mile or a mile of their home, and go see those first. Because when you see a house first in a neighborhood of when you go see the next house, you're going to have a lot of confidence. Like, hey, I was just down the street. I saw that new listing that Matt Battiata has for, $900,000 on the corner. It's a beautiful house. And I'm just curious, and then I'm going to start there, right? Because that gives me confidence. So I want to see at least 2 homes. I prefer to see 2 homes before I stop by, meet and or knock on their door, right? Second thing I'm going to do before I even do any of that is I'm going to review the tax records to see how leveraged they are. I want to know if they have a notice of default and they're going to hide that because they don't see any room to sell this house. They don't want to share their drama with anybody off the street. They need somebody they can trust. So if you come in there knowing that, man, you look at, and they just refinanced a couple of years ago, they have a great low rate, but they also had a really high LTV, and next thing you know, they're at 90% or even higher today than where they were 2 years ago because of panic selling and different things like that. That's something I want to know. Do I want a listing right now? I've done too many short sales over the years. It's not comfortable to sell somebody a home for $1.3 million and have them call you 2 years later, and now you have to sell it for $800,000. But I've had that happen, and that's hard. They don't blame you. They hire you to come back and do that. So you want to know that. What's this FSBO's, what are they going through? I put down here, review the tax record and mainly pay attention to the mortgage information. See if they are over leveraged or how much equity they really have in this house. Are they really trying to just get out of there with a little bit of money in their pocket? Or what are they doing? That's going to come up in your conversation politely if you know it. With confidence, I've seen some other properties in my mind. I've seen yours now. It looks a little maybe undermanaged or undercared for, probably going through a financial problem. Or if it's just absolutely beautiful, but it still seems to be over leveraged, that's still the same conversation. The market's going to bring you what the market's going to bring you. We don't share this with them, but we have to put on these kid gloves and really understand why they're doing this. I can tell you that through a lot of experience and through researching this, 90% of for sale by owners are doing it because they've had a bad experience. That's it. I can do better than you guys. Zillow tells me what I need to know. Redfin tells me what I need to know. Why should I list with you? Type of I can do better myself because I've had a bad experience. You have to come in and you have to understand the psychology behind it. The last thing I put in there is at some point you want to ask this question, and you can ask it your way or any way you want. But the question is, when you sell, where are you going to move to? Because if I know you're just selling and you want out, you're going to go rent, you're going to stay in the area because you want your kids, then chances are I know you're just trying to either park some equity and you have other plans for it, or you really just are, maybe just in a situation where you want to capitalize on your 2-year $500,000 gain. That happens in this market. There's smart people selling their houses just to put tax-free money in the bank, So that's gonna vary. The answer is gonna vary. Where are you going? But if they say, well, you know what, we're gonna move to Texas, then the first question I would ask would be, great, have you already chosen a home there? Are you an escrow on a new home there, or do you already own one? Because if they say, no, we haven't started that process yet, now this is the magic question. Well, geez, what's the market doing there? What are you missing out on if you sit here on the market by owner and you don't have an opportunity to work on a contingent sale on the sale of your home, sell your house first. So now you can know what you can buy in Texas based on everything else. What's stopping you? Let's talk about that. Maybe the solution is you want to take your house off the market today, off for sale by owner, until we establish a connection with a realtor in Texas where you're going, so they can prepare you for what you're about ready to do. Because if we work together with them, then our job would be to maybe make that transition smoother. No, by the way, we probably get you more money by doing that. So
I love that. I love that, Brian. Go ahead.
So really, those are my notes. I want to hear the other guys. You know, I always get a lot of value out of this. You know, while Dennis was talking, these were just like back in, you know, they came from the cellar, from behind my brain, and they came back to the forefront because I haven't done a for sale by owner here in a long time. And, you know, my systems were all written down. We didn't have the internet when I did this.
Wow. Okay. Well, I love that, you know, coming from a solution-oriented mindset and asking those direct questions, you know, what is it preventing you from doing on the other end if they're going to move somewhere? You know, you have to create that mindset that it's preventing them from living their life to getting to their next journey. And I think that's super, super important. I want to go from Brian down to Gail. I know she's in her car. She's probably on her way to another listing appointment. Gail, when you guys do FSBOs up in Northern California, is there any part of the process that you would like to add to, or any big nuggets that you can share with people that has really set you apart and have allowed these FSBOs to create a relationship with you and get committed to you selling their house? You got to unmute though. The only way we get to hear you is if you unmute, which is great. Here we go. No, go ahead, Gail, you're still muted.
Tap.
Oh,
How
there you
about
go.
now?
There you go. You're good.
Okay.
She's
So
off and running, folks.
So one of the things I would highly recommend in this market right now is, like, you know, you always say have something of value to the seller. So one of the here's my new narrative, and like all of you guys, I haven't really been doing FSBOs at all, you know, until this new market. I mean, last week was the first time that I talked to two of them, and what I did was I lined myself with my lender, and I said to the seller, "How are you pre-qualifying these buyers?" And he said, "Well, you know, they have a I go, "But you realize now that we're almost, you know, we're 7 going into 8%. Those buyers that have those pre-qualification letters, they've lost not 10%, but 30% of their purchasing power. So you may go into contract," I said, "you know, with somebody who doesn't really qualify. Would you be open to speaking to my lender? He'll do it for free because I do a lot of business with you. He could at least pre-qualify any of the buyers you're considering." And so what happens is when they talk to him, he's edifying me. "Oh my gosh, you kidding? You know, this is, you know, this buyer's, you know," and we actually did one last week because, you know, he said, "Well, I have this one guy who's talking about it. I happen to be a neighbor," right? Well, of course, the neighbor didn't want to even fill out an application. So I'm like, why would you even go down? Because neighbors always are always trying to purchase a for sale by owner, especially if it's a bigger property or it's, you know, right next door to them. And, you know, I've had for sale by owners, you know, stories where they were waiting 2 months, 3 months, you know, because their neighbor's daughter or son or somebody, you know, had promised to buy the property. So just by offering, hey, pre-qualification, this way you don't find yourself in a situation. Here's, you know, Ali's phone number. He's happy to do that for you. And nobody says no. I mean, because they don't have a way of pre-qualifying it. It's like having a direct, you know, line to, is this a real buyer or not? And by that time, you know, then you have the lender check in with them. How are things going? Man, you know, the market's changing. You should really talk to Gail. You know, nobody, you know, so he's working it up. And right now I have one guy like borderline over here in Roseville ready to pull the trigger because I have, you know, my lender in his ear. And so that's one of my tips that I think would work really good in this market.
I love that. I like the one where you're getting the lender to really pump up Gail DeMarco. Gail DeMarco,
Yeah.
even though she's a rock star, is not pumping up Gail DeMarco. A third non-biased party is pumping up Gail DeMarco. That's a big, big thing, you guys, because the seller or the FSBO expects you to come in and tell them how great you are. Everything resonates better through stories. And you have to tell the story as if you're speaking to a third grader. That's the big thing. And you have to also train your lenders to do that, because when they do that, it's even more impactful, because they're sharing a story and the seller is saying, well, there's really nothing in it for the lender. The lender isn't going to list my house or make the money. Gail is, right? Because their big holdback is it's easy to sell your house. But what they don't understand is all of the qualifications, all the problems, all the issues. And in the security right now, it's dangerous to allow people to come in off the street and look at your house and get a first look or a firsthand look at your house. I mean, that's a big, big thing. Gail, that was awesome stuff. I love the third party validation system.
Right.
Super important. I like that. Look at everybody on this call and everybody out there listening. I want to make something perfectly clear. FSBOs have not been a big part of our business over the last 12 months. You know something? It is going to be a big part of our business over the next 12 months. So you may as well start getting uncomfortable with being comfortable with FSBOs. And the best time to start is right now. Pick up the phone today, call some, make an appointment, go see them. Okay? Now we're going to go from Gail to somebody who's not bragging. He's just applying for a job. That's Matt Battiata. He just got off the waves. I'm sure that's why he has the goatee. He watched probably Point Break the other night. He thinks he's Bodie. He's looking for the perfect wave. That's it. So Matt, what are you doing when it comes to FSBOs, and how are you getting in front of FSBOs? Where do you find them? Do you just drive around and look for sale by owners, or where do people start to find FSBOs first and foremost?
Well, so I'm not currently working for sale by owners, but I did used to in the past. The good news is for sale by owners, for the most part, when the market was really on fire, they may have been able to sell on their own, but with the market having shifted, most of them are not going to be successful, and they're going to end up listing with an agent. There are services like Dennis mentioned. There's like Red X and Mojo. There's a handful of services out there that will give you lists of expireds, for sale by owners. But most of them nowadays, I think, are on Zillow. So you can literally just go on to Zillow and check the box for sale by owners. And I think you'll get a lot of them that way as well without paying a service, but the services are pretty cheap. But for sale by owners are a great source of business, especially right now when the market has slowed down, because again, they're all going to end up listing with an agent. So when I worked for sale by owners, I kind of would do a six-step process. I would just call them up on the phone and get into a conversation with them. I would always tell them up front that I'm a real estate agent, and that I have, I work the area, and basically I would just want to get into a conversation. I would always start with why are they selling and where are they moving to? And I would really try to build rapport with them. Really, really important. People, work with people they like, right? And then I would try to differentiate myself to what I offer that's different than most of the agents out there, right? So Gail mentioned a really good one, which is, how are you pre-qualifying the buyers that call you? Because a lot of the time they're going to get calls from buyers that are not represented by an agent. And you can tell them, look, I can cross qualify any buyer that you have that wants to look at your house. And by the way, and you explain to them that you should have them pre-qualified before you show them the house. I would also offer them, look, if you get buyers who call you up, I'm happy to talk with them, et cetera. And you should not trust those pre-qual letters, even if they have one. But the bottom line is you want to find out why they're selling, where they're going, when they need to be there. And then of course you got to get down to price, because most of those for sale by owners are selling because they think it's going to save them money, right? So what's your number? What's the number that you want to sell that house for? And let's say they tell you, I don't know, $700,000. Okay. So, okay, great. So if it's 700,000, let me ask you this. If I were to bring you a buyer tomorrow who is willing to pay you 700,000, you'd pay me a 3% commission, I'm assuming, right? And they will almost all the time say, oh, of course. Yeah, I'm happy to pay out a commission to a buyer's agent. Okay. All right. So 700,000. Let me ask you this. What if I brought you a cash buyer, no contingencies, who could close in, 2 weeks, et cetera? Do you have any more flexibility on the price? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you brought me a cash buyer, and yeah, I could probably, now I could probably go down to 685 or, 690 or whatever. So now what you're doing is you're working them down in price, because initially their issue is they didn't want to pay a listing commission. They're willing to pay a buyer agent commission, but they don't want to pay the listing commission. But now you're getting out of them that they're willing to go down to, say, 685 if you brought them a cash buyer. Right. And we know we can bring them cash buyers or the equivalent of a cash buyer. So the point is, now we know, we've whittled them down in price. And the next step basically now is you just want to get in front of them. Well, listen, that sounds great. When can I come out and take a quick look? It takes about 5 minutes. And now you've got an opportunity to get in the door and basically have a listing appointment and tell them all the different things that you offer, and also give them tips on what to do and what not to do to prepare the house for sale and so forth. And you've gotten past the biggest obstacle, which is getting in the door and building rapport with them. So I think for sale by owners are a great source of business. I mean, you've got their phone numbers. They're not listed. We know they want to sell. I think it is important, like Brian said, to pull the comps before you call them very quickly, see what they owe. But the bottom line is, all the different things that we can offer to them, like, for example, a trade-up program. You can just say to them, how are you handling, when you have buyers come in and they have another home to sell? I don't want to deal with that. You can tell them, well, listen, we have a trade-up program, and we can take care of the contingency. The bottom line is, and the last thing, I forgot about this, the last thing that you want to mention is, when I come out there, would you be open to seeing a system that could potentially net you even more money than you're netting selling on your own? Yeah, sure, I would. But that comes at the very end. But the bottom line is, all you want to do is get in the door for that to meet them. And then you have an opportunity to build rapport and basically give them an abbreviated or even a full length listing appointment, because at the end of the day, they're never gonna, there's so many different topics you can hit a for sale by owner on. All the liability that they incur by selling it on their own. They have to negotiate one-on-one with either a buyer or with an agent who's done it, hundreds of times, and the disadvantage they're at. It's all about just showing them that you can net them as much or more, and take on all the, take care of all the liability and all the work and all the stress and so forth.
I love it. I think that was gold. That was a great nugget. Would you be interested in seeing a system that would net you more money? Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Listen, he's not bragging, you guys. He's just applying for a job. The great thing. So here's my question, Matt. And this is a direct question. How many FSBOs or expireds have you listed over the phone without seeing their house or meeting them?
Oh, I don't think any. Yeah, zero. It's a good point.
So there you go. You got to get out there and you got to get in the door. It takes quick. It's easy. It's 5 minutes. That's it. All right. So I'm going to go from Maddie. Maddie, that was great stuff. I like the new look. You almost have like one of these looks in the movies or something. I think you're trying out for a movie. We're only 2 hours south of LA. So maybe you're doing something that I don't know. I'm going to go to Cameron in Florida. Cameron has had roughly 168 hours from last week to come up with some new nuggets. He told one FSBO last week that he should list with him because that's how he broke his ankle chasing down a buyer down the street to get him to buy his FSBO. All right, so give me some words of wisdom. Give me some nuggets. Let's get this going. You were great last week. Follow it up. I want to see the sequel.
I got something even better this week. So first off, Matt, that was spot on. My whole for sale by owner presentation kind of is tailored towards getting them to agree to half the commission, and then you're really fighting over very little money. If it's $700,000 house, you're talking about 20 grand. So once they agree to the 3%, you go, great, I want to show it to my buyers. When can I stop by? my for sale by owner call, if I'm going to start cold calling these again, actually, before I get there, one thing I want to tell everybody on this call, which is really exciting, we are all, I will say, top producers, right? Let's not toot our own horns, but we all do quite a bit of volume. None of us are calling for sale by owners. What does that tell everyone here? We all need to be doing it. But if you're obviously not doing it already and you're thinking about starting and we're not already doing it, you're way ahead of the curve because you're not competing against hundreds and hundreds of agents. So I think for sale by owners are a great avenue, you guys, especially as the market gets tougher. Always repeat what the client says or what these people say. They want the affirmation that you hear them, you know, hey, we're wanting to do this. Great. You're wanting to do that. Yes. Wonderful. I agree. And then you can always reply. So always listen, repeat, and affirm. That way you can build your rapport with these guys. Anyways, my intro to these calls is, hi, I'm Cameron Smith, local real estate agent. I was just working down the house, or I just sold a home right down your road and I seen your home popped up for sale by owner. Did I lose everyone here? I look like everyone's frozen.
You're good.
Oh, cool. Sorry about that. Everyone froze. I'm sorry. So anyways, my script is, hi, this is Cameron Smith, local real estate agent here in the area. I just was working on a home down the area. I just sold a home down the area. Like, I think it was Dennis, were you saying, or Randy, you have to prepare a little bit. Know what's going on around these homes. Take a few minutes before you call. That's one reason, obviously, I'm not huge into dialers where they're just mass spamming calling. I like to be a little bit more prepared when I call. So, hey, this is Cameron Smith, local real estate expert in the area. I was just working down the street, saw your home popped up. Are you willing to work with a real estate agent if I bring you a buyer for 3%? I'm really short to the point. I'm not trying to gloss over and ask them about the questions. And all these, they reply with, yeah, absolutely. We would love to. Great. When would be a good time this afternoon? I'm going back to the house I was working on. I'm available to be around there at 3:30. Could I stop by your home and take a quick video? And one thing that's really important is you have to describe who you're working with. Right? We're always working with clients. I have clients that I'm showing right now from Ontario. And if I were to call these guys, I would say, I would love to do a video for my clients from Ontario. Would that be good? It reaffirms that you're not just another scammer trying to call them. You're going to do a video for your clients. You want to go see the inside of their home. And 80% of the time, they're going to say yes, you guys. If they're willing to work with agents, like they've already said they will, they want you to come by and see their home to help possibly sell it. I don't get much backlash. Once you're there, and you have them agreeing to obviously a time, I go into the pre-qual script. How soon, where were you guys moving? And that's all rapport building. How soon did you want to be there? What's taking you there? What's driving you to wherever you're moving to? These are obviously basic questions, but if you just close with the, great, we'll see you at 4:30, you don't know their motivation. You don't know why they're moving. You don't know where they are. Now, one of you guys were saying that you dig into the tax data and you kind of figure out where they are financially before you call them. I like that idea. I don't know if I would do it. I would probably do that after I set the appointment, like I do with my expireds, just because obviously if you're setting up and you're doing, you just got to, once you get into that role in the morning of calling and you get your calls going, the last thing I typically like to do is stop. So now if they do say no, I've had a couple of people say, no, we're not willing to work with agents, right? You laugh and I always go, yeah, I wouldn't want to work with real estate agents either. I completely get it. Well, hey, I'm going to be at that other house this afternoon. I wrote a book. It's a 60-page book. Do you mind if I drop it off? It's how you can sell your home without a real estate agent. And they go, and I, some of them say no, and it's okay, great, on to the next call. But if they say yes, then all of the other agents that called and they say, no, we're not looking to work with them, and they just gave up, you set yourself apart. And then 30 days down the line, when they haven't sold it, they're looking at that book that you gave them. You're the only agent that even got in front of them, got in front of their face. You're able to talk about, hey, what are the seller disclosures are you giving? Or what disclosures, what pre-quals are you doing? You're able to get in front of them, show your worth, show your value. You show up dressed nice. You show up in your BMW or your Mercedes or whatever you drive. You look professional, you talk professional, and you stand out so quickly. And the questions are you willing to work with an agent for 3%? Yeah, okay, great. I need to stop by your house and see it. Let's do it this afternoon. And you give them a time. Always, you guys, this is basic closes. I'm available. I'm going to be at that house around 4. I can stop by before at 3:30, or if it works better for you, I'm going to be done afterwards. So we, 4:35 work for you. You give them choices, they'll pick one. If you just say, well, you're available this afternoon, nah, yeah. So always give them choices, give them the answers that you want. What else I got for you? How did you come up with the asking price? That was a question I think, Matt, you just asked. Fantastic. How did you come up with that? They'll go into a story, it'll build your rapport, and then you obviously work on the conversations. That's obviously one of my favorites. But really, guys, it's just getting out there, start calling. You'll start hearing the objections. Anytime that you get a call that you fail on, which means they gave you ejection and you failed on it, write it down, reach out to one of us. We'll love to chat about it. We've heard all of everything. So reach out to one of us. We can kind of figure out what's going on. But yeah, those are my nuggets. That's it, guys.
Wow.
Get to the point.
Wow. Hey, 168 hours coming in hot from Southern Florida. Listen, that was worth the wait. Some great nuggets there. And I love that you don't take anything personally. You don't allow your ego to get involved. It's always solution oriented. Hey, can I drop this to you? Would this help you? Always coming from a place of being in service to others and just giving them options, you guys. Give them options. The reason why they hate agents is most agents are calling them, telling them they can't do it, or telling them that they're not gonna succeed doing it. They're going to fail. And nobody likes to be told they're going to fail. You know, people are doing things out of different types of measures, anxiety, fear, motivations, everything. Go ahead, Cam.
One more thing, you guys, like we were saying, the mindset of a for sale by owner is that they can either do it themselves, right? They don't need the agents, or the agents provide no value. So you want to share your successes with them. You're not bragging, right? No, I just sold that home down the road. We got stuff going on. We're moving, we're shaking. I just here. If you need my help, great, I'm here. And when they do decide to hire an agent and they're deciding, should we hire, Mary on our Facebook page that hasn't sold a home in 6 months, or Cam, the guy that dropped off that book, he's selling the home down the street. Part of the book obviously shows the 200 homes that we sold this year. He's rocking and rolling. They're going to at least reach out to you and give you an opportunity to list it when they're ready. So that's keep that in mind. Think of how a for sale by owner is approaching the interaction. And that's how you go at it. It's not about me. I'm just here. I'm selling real estate. Do you need some help? If not, that's okay. But still, I'm going to help you until you decide to let me help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a resource. And you have to remember too, you guys, we're in football season. So if the owners of football fans, the most amount of time they're going to last is 2 to 3 games. That's it. After, when they're missing their second or third game, they're saying, this stinks. I don't like doing this. I'm setting up appointments. I'm running around cleaning the house and nobody even shows. Or they show up and they want to offer me $500,000 for my house and they know I'm asking for 7. It frustrates them. Oh, what did I miss? I missed the whole game. Oh my God, Herbert got hurt in San Diego. How did I miss that? Oh, because I was showing somebody my house who wasn't even realistic. You got to look at those types of things. I love that you're always constantly being a If you don't have it, I got news for you. Call Cameron, send him some sunscreen. He'll probably send you the book for nothing, right? Because he does want to burn. And just take that book, make stickers, or just take your card and staple it to the front of the book and say, hey, a really good friend of mine wrote this book. He sent it to me the other day. People that he's been handing it to, they've been having a ton of success. It'll change their body language. It'll change how they react to you because nobody else is taking that approach. They're all calling them saying, you cannot do this. You cannot accomplish what you want, right? And then if you still have problems, it's easy. Send Brian Yarber some bait and he'll tee up some of the people on the phone for you. And by the time he from last week to get to this point, I want to go to Randy. He's on the beach. He's not at the Polish festival yet. He's trying to get his tan on, and he's going to hit all the Polish festivals in the city for the next 2 weeks. But he's got to get some FSBOs or some other opportunities so he can buy the Polish sausages. Tell me the deal, Randy. So
Yeah, so I think I shared a little bit about this, but maybe I'll expand this week. So one of the things I mentioned last time was as an agent, right? And I think Matt Battiata discussed this at other masterminds we had here, where I think when we were talking about I can't stress enough how good that could be for you, right? And what I would even add in there is if any of my investor clients buy a property, there will be no commission to me. Right? Put that in there, because what do the sellers care about? They want things easy, and they think they don't. And the truth is, once you get in the door, yes, you could get them 3 offers on the table, because what I will tell you is most brokerages that you're part of, and I know we have a mix here, right? We have a lot of agents from EXP, but we have a lot of agents from all different brokerages. There should be an iBuyer program if you're with one of the identify cash buyers for you as an agent. So then you can basically leverage that program at your listing presentations. That's all it is. So if there is no iBuyer program at your brokerage, create it yourself. All it is connecting with local cash buyers that are reputable. You a seller that would like an offer within 72 hours, can you do that for me, right? Because I would like to add you to my iBuyer program, right? I want to have only 2 or 3 in that program, and I'm calling you because I see you're reputable, you do a lot of business. Are you interested? No cash. Why not? Yeah, add me to the list. That's awesome, right? But you need them to commit to you that they will actually go out to the property within 72 hours, so you can keep your commitment that you just stated to the seller that you are now meeting with, hopefully at their house, right? Because that's your promise. The way you market it to them, well, then good luck after that, getting the listing, right? So you need serious investors that are able to handle volume, let's just call it, that can go out and send one of their acquisitions guys to the property quickly. And, you know, you can say 2, you can say 3. I like the word, I think 3 is great. But I would add no commission to me if one of my investor clients buys this property. And then once I'm in the door, because of that marketing headline, then I can explain how the program works. Like, hey, I'm going to get you 3 offers. Here's how it's going to work, right? And the commission, period. And it makes sense to them now because, yes, this is an investor. They're going to rehab the property. They're going to put it on the market. Well, someone's going to sell it. Guess who? Me. So now you're also edifying yourself indirectly that you are their go-to agent to list their flip. You know, in the game for their listing in essence, right? But what I and Matt knows, and many of you that have tried this, that many times those offers will not work out to the point where the seller is going to be like excited about the offer amount, right? And I'm going through this. It's mortgageable, but it's totally outdated, right? So we met with them and we literally told them this same script. We're like, hey, we're going to get you offers from investors and let's just see what it looks like. They will buy it as is. They'll make it so easy for you. However, this is how they operate. They got to make a profit. They're going to buy this home. Then buys your property, there's no commission to me. And they love that, right? To hear that. So we did that. I presented them literally 3 offers this week. Brian was CC'd on all the emails. And then at the end, I said, look, I know that these offers, you know, seem lower than what my investor clients went down 35 grand in their offer amount. That hurts when the market shifts that much, right? So automatically, I knew that that might be one of their objections. I said, look, here's what I recommend, that we put the house on the market and see if we could find an end buyer that will be excited to renovate this property to live in it. They're out there, not many, but they are. They'll pay more than these investor clients. And with this, though, we will just have a full 5% commission, right? However, this will net you more money. If the market a shot for a different type of buyer that will pay you more, are you guys open to that? And of course, and we're going to have a call with them today about that strategy. But guess what? We're going to then get a 5% commission total, right? And what you need to know, if you go after these type of sellers, things. But now you're in the door, you build rapport, you build trust, you converted on the promise that you initially gave them, right? 3 offers within 72 hours, right? So the trust is built, but you also have to understand that they might get insulted. So you thing if they bought it, but I honestly would recommend probably putting this on a market based on the condition of your home. It's mortgageable, right? These are good options. However, I think we could get you more. Let's give it a shot, right? And then it's an easy conversation because now they see numbers. And if I say a higher number, that I'm going to list it at 500. Now my 5% commission looks like nothing, right, to them. So anyway, we're literally doing it as we speak. It works, guys, but you need to have that hook on the front end. And I can't stress enough how good of a hook that could be right now. Hey, let me get you 3 offers within 72 hours. You will definitely get bites on that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one, Randy. And I really love that you're transparent. Because, see, they don't know who to believe, you guys. FSBOs don't believe agents. They think all the agents lie. So it's very important to be direct and transparent and use different vernacular when you're speaking with them. They don't like the word commissions. Say, you know something, I have 3 investors that I work closely with. I would love to show your house to them. And if they buy the house, all of my professional fees and services are complimentary. You don't have to pay me anything. And here's how it works, and explain it to them. Now, if I feel we can net more money a different way, I'll share that with you. But the professional fees and services do change. That's the truth, because nobody works for free, right? They're complimentary when the investors buy it. So I think it's really important to establish that protocol right off the bat, use certain vernacular, and really build that rapport with the person. It's refreshing. You're not trying to sell them. You're trying to explain in a very transparent way what they can expect. You're setting expectations before you even get to their house. They like that. You're not saying they can't sell it. You're not saying that they have to go fly fishing with Brian Yarber up in Montana, or they have to go surfing with Matt Battiata. All you're saying is, I'm a means to an end, and this is how it works. And these are my professional fees. And it's not what you ask, it's what you net. And I can show you what you will net and get liability off your plate, get all the headaches off your plate. You get to watch the Charger games. You get to do whatever you want. Now, listen, I've saved the best for last this week. It's like announcing an artist that was formerly known as something else. Before this market, you guys, he was known as the ROG, the real estate old guy out of Philly. Now his new name is the real estate opportunity guy. He's still the ROG. He's just morphed into an opportunity in real estate. I want to give it to my brother from another mother, Craig Lurch from Philly. His Eagles are 2-0. He's flying high, fly, Eagles fly. Give us some tips on FSBOs. What's working in your market, and what can people apply in their markets to get FSBOs and get listings today?
I can tell you that, first of all, the Eagles are flying high because this is where in our market today, we can all fly high. Everybody on this call who's listening can take these ideas and fly high. Over the past 3 weeks, the ideas that we've taken, I've morphed them into something else that right now, you're all saying the same. We're all saying, get third-party endorsement, do this, show the value added. I love the professional fee thing. We say that all the time now in everything we do. It disrupts the movement. It makes that person move and think different. But one of the things that we're doing is, like I mentioned last week, we had our stager calling for sale by owners and also expires. One of the things I found out is a lot of them are for sale by owners because they were just listed with somebody and they're mad at the realtor. It's not that they're not coming back at a realtor. They just haven't decided yet. And they're like, let me just throw a sign in the yard. So it's not if, it's when. And we talk about that line a lot within this group. But I went one step farther. I called my photographer and I said to him, dude, if I give you phone numbers for sale by owners, these people want to do it. You give them a package, you give them a discount. And while you're there, you edify me and also say, by the way, why didn't you call realtor and see what they say? If you use Craig, he'll reimburse you on all the costs that I'm going to charge you. So now I'm getting my work done. He's getting in the door. He's edifying. We actually had a for sale by owner that actually said, yeah, come over to take the pictures. I know his name. My challenge is I have too many friends that are realtors and I didn't want to choose one. We were talking about Lawson, 1 out of every 3 cars in Salt Lake City where he's or Park City where he's at is a realtor. A lot of times for sale by owners are just for sale by owner because they have too many family or too many friends and they don't want to upset them. So become the expert, become that person to protect them versus, repeating everything that's been said. Get out of judgment, live in curiosity, and give them value, not asking anything back, and use professional fees, but also have the third-party endorsement. I'm having other people call me and edify me. So now I'm not getting frustrated either. And I'm having somebody else because I give them a lot of business. That's what I'm doing. Somebody's doing something for me for free. I'm the end result.
How much is the photographer charging them when he comes to do the basic photography?
$350 if they go with him. He says, I'll do it for, as a for sale by owner, I'll give you a little break. I'll go from 40 pictures to 25 and I'll do it for this. But he'll take the 40 pictures and I get the full boat later on. So every market's different in your photographers. Same thing with a home inspector. We were thinking about having home inspections. Hey, by the way, buyers are going to want to do a pre-home inspection. And by the way, have them go through the dialogue. Let them get scared about a home inspection is going to come through about how to negotiate that themselves. So instead of us doing it, let everybody else be the bad guy, but then blow us up as being the good guy.
I love it. I love it. Explain real fast, just follow-up question. Explain to everybody what the edification process sounds and looks like.
The edification process is mainly like they're walking around nonchalantly. So, this is great selling your house. Why'd you decide to do this by yourself? I actually teach them a dollar. Well, I wanted to save money. Great. Let me tell you something. I was just taking pictures around the corner with Craig Lurch with eXp Realtor or John Smith with ABC Realty or Melissa out in Mentor and all that stuff. The bottom line comes down to it is whoever it is, they're saying, why did you ever not think of calling him? I didn't think about calling him. I have family members that I'd have to use. Oh, well, here's his number. Do you want me to connect him? I know he'd come over and tell you a price and make sure you're priced right for free. He'd do that as a favor for me. He would do that as a favor for me, not I'm doing him a favor. He would do that as a favor for me because we do a lot of work together. So that's how they're more or less doing it. They're trying to make it look like they're doing a favor, not us.
Yeah, I love that, you guys, and have a good, strong vendor list that you work with that will go out there and edify you and really pump you up because that's what they want to hear. It's completely different, as we stated before, coming from a third party than from you. That's a big thing. So we got 5 minutes left. Let's go through we're going to do like a speed round. All right.
Brian
Everybody give me your best tip. Go, Brian.
Brian has a hand up.
All right, good. Craig, you unlocked something I completely forgot about in this category. One of my early brokers had 2 sons that went to college. They were college interns taking surveys constantly for my broker. There is nothing violating any ethics or any of our oath when a college student knocks on a for sale by owner's door and introduces themselves as I'm a college intern working on a survey for real estate, and you give them and arm them with the questions that you want to know from this for sale by owner. So here's the thing. Hi, my name's Brian Arbor. I go to San Diego State College and I'm an intern. I'm doing a survey. I'm interested in real estate. I have a couple questions here. I'm just curious. And then, why did you decide to sell your home? Question number one. Have you already done a pre-list inspection so you know what the buyers are going to find out? Number two, are you cooperating with other buyers agents? Number three, if your goals aren't met, when are you thinking about interviewing a real estate agent? Number four, would you like to see a net sheet? Number five. Now you can add to this list, but if a college student knocks on a door and asks a for sale by owner, hey, would you mind if I do a survey for you real quick? Because I'm interested in real estate. I'm a college intern, right? If you don't have a high school kid or a college student, go next door and borrow the kid next door, offer them $50 and go knock on these FSBO doors and take a survey and have them bring you back that survey and gladly give them the $50 or some gas money to go do this. And I guarantee you, it'll knock it out of the park.
I love the college survey, the old college tribe. I love it. Who else wants to add another nugget in the speed round? We have 2 minutes left. 120 seconds. Go. Somebody give me something.
I think just leading with contribution to for sale by owners is just really critical. So I like what somebody just said about offering your photographer, offering your home inspector, offering a net sheet, offering to pre-qualify the buyers for them. All those things are great things for sale by owners that will ingratiate you to them. So I like those.
Yeah, offer sign-in sheets, offer different tips, on how they can stage their house, get it ready, show it, so forth, get people pre-qualified, give tips like that. Randy, you're edgy over there on the beach. Somebody tell me something. Go ahead.
Real quick, one of the things you said in the beginning, 80% of the agents are going to give up on the first phone call. Pretend it's somebody that you're dying to go out with on a date, and you're going to do everything. You're looking for the crack in the door. You're going to bring the flowers. You're going to do that. Date them go after these people like they're the last listing in the world to pay your bills, to save the money that you've got to pay for medical bills on a family member that's dying. If you fight for it that way without giving up, you'll be surprised at how many you get. Point is just get up and do it.
Yeah, make up your mind before you go in there. Visualize it. Be confident. Be comfortable. Come from contribution. Give them tips. Have solutions. Ask questions. Help them out. Change your vernacular. Complimentary services. Not free. Not commissions. Professional real estate services. All right, and create that opportunity. Anybody else want to close it out? This has been this has been FSBO Part 2. It's been great. Go ahead.
Pete, the chat isn't working. I tried to put it in there so I didn't have to give it to you guys. But another great question is who are you referring your direct buyers to? When a direct buyer comes to you, calls on your sign, stops by, it's not for them. Who are you referring those buyers to?
That's great.
Okay, I'm putting it in there.
Last nugget, guys. Remember, this is always to cast a little bit of doubt at the end of your listing presentation with a FSBO. 71% of all real estate litigations is with for sale by owners. Just want to let you guys know, keep that in mind too. If you are maybe on the fence about calling or reaching out, thinking that you're maybe trying to be a salesperson, you're preventing these people from getting sued. You're helping them. That's our job, is to help these people do it right. And 71% of all real estate litigation is with FSBOs.
Okay, we just hit the hour mark. You guys, listen, I'm going to challenge everybody who's been on this great mastermind today to bring 2 people next week. I don't care where they're from. Bring them to the mastermind. We'll promote the topic. If you have a topic that you want to see, please let us know. Look at how quickly Gail has changed in the FSBO market. This is what happens with FSBOs. But look at. It's a tough market out there. If you need any help, we're all here to help you. You know, look at your options. Let's get it going. Invite people next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Business Playbook Mastermind. You guys, great stuff this week. Loved it. And let's connect next week. Same time, same bat channel. Let's make it happen. Everybody have a really successful weekend. Talk to you soon.
See y'all.
Later.